This is, the would-be king who thinks that he can destroy anyone and destroy their businesses.
Hello, everybody. David Schuster here. Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts just trashed Trump. And Trump is now erupting and rage posting on social media. This began when Warren appeared on CNBC and delivered a scathing critique of Trump's stewardship of the economy.
Remember, Donald Trump ran for office saying he would lower costs on day one. Cost of groceries are up, cost of housing is up, cost of health care is up. And where is Donald Trump? He's passing a signature bill to throw people off their health care so he can do tax cuts for billionaires. Democrats are the people who say billionaires actually should pay their fair share and that we need to focus on affordability for American families.
Trump then lashed out on his true social media platform with this. In just 6 months, I cut costs, especially energy and taxes, tremendously. Elizabeth Pocahontas Warren on CNBC said costs have gone up. She's just angry that I blew up her terrible presidential campaign. Call her out. That seemed to be a reference to Warren's 2020 presidential campaign, but the Trump claim of blowing it up makes no sense. In 2020, Joe Biden beat Warren for the Democratic presidential nomination. Trump had nothing to do with it. Unless Trump wants to take credit for Biden getting in the race to begin with. Oh, and Joe Biden beat Donald Trump in the 2020 general election. Anyway, Donald Trump added another social media post while Warren was ripping him on CNBC. Elizabeth Warren is a loser. She lies about everything, including the fact that she's an Indian. She's not. She is no Pocahontas. Clearly, Warren struck a nerve. And it's obvious that Donald Trump was sensitive to any negative talk about the economy. Trump recently fired the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics for reporting his poor job creation numbers. Warren hammered Trump over that as well.
You get bad data, you kill the messenger, right? And that's Donald Trump because he thinks he can bend reality. If he can just tell a different story, then everyone will have to believe his story. I think most people have not absorbed just how dangerous it is, both to fire the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics and also, then what? To put in some sycophant who's going to give data that makes the president happy? That's certainly the message he's communicating. And when that happens, who believes the data?
Analysts around the world are already saying that the next set of data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics will now be greeted with skepticism. If the job numbers are good, analysts say that may not be believed. And if the numbers are bad, analysts may think the numbers are actually even worse. The problem is that all data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics will now be in doubt thanks to a Trump toady being put in charge. And that will be a dramatic change after decades of U.S. government statistics credibility.
The United States data collection in the economic range is the best in the world. We are the gold standard. And the importance of that is that every government official who's making policy choices, and I mean that at the federal level, but also at the state level, at the town level, can look at here's where we've been, here's the direction it looks like the economy's going. Understand, Bureau of Labor Statistics does not interpret the data. They just report the numbers. You figure out what to do with it. And every business in America that's trying to figure out where do I want to go next, what do I think the trends look like, this is what businesses do.
But what Donald Trump has done is change that. And now the previously reliable statistical tool that businesses could count on will be marked by uncertainty. Back on his true social media platform, Trump erupted at Warren yet again, although this time he also took a shot at her CNBC interviewers. Trump wrote, "Ask Pocahontas the real question, CNBC." A CNBC host asked Warren if the data collection methods need to be updated, and Warren said yes, but with a caveat.
Improve data collection, but don't call it rigged. Because this is like taking value that the United States has literally spent decades and decades and decades building up, and Donald Trump just strikes a match and sets it on fire. He tells the entire world, don't trust data coming out of the United States. Lord, is that
Do you have
expensive.
any expectation there's something you and the Congress can do about it?
Well, yeah, this is our problem.
I mean, obviously,
all
you're in the
along.
minority party, but
Well, we have Republicans, in theory, they could just stand up to him, but I say in theory. It's the most spineless bunch of people I've ever seen. Even something that so clearly will hurt their home states, will hurt businesses in their home states, and I don't hear a peep from them saying, back off, we need independent data collection. This woman who has served under Democrats and Republicans. Shoot, Marco Rubio, J.D. Vance voted for her when she was confirmed. Very apolitical position. Where are those Republicans?
What about the business
up?
community? Are you surprised? Now, it's early, but we haven't heard of perhaps resounding concern. Roger Altman, obviously, chairman of Evercore, saying some things just now. But are you surprised there's been perhaps a lack of concern expressed there in the last couple of days?
You know, I'm going to say it slightly differently. I'm worried about what it means. Why would people not respond? Why would business leaders who use those data and know how important those data are, why would they not speak out? How much has much of the business community decided, I'll keep my head down? No matter what's, let him fire at somebody else. I mean, he just lopped off the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Who does he want to go after next? He goes after individual businesses. He goes after people in the government. This is, you know, the would-be king who thinks that he can destroy anyone and destroy their businesses. So let somebody else speak out about how bad this is. I think that's very disturbing.
To be fair, there are a few Republican senators who have publicly condemned Trump for firing the Bureau of Labor Statistics commissioner. However, Wyoming Senator Cynthia Lummis was very soft-spoken and circumspect in criticizing Donald Trump's move. And North Carolina's Tom Tillis, who spoke out forcefully and said Trump should grow up, well, Tillis is not seeking re-election. So, to Warren's point, the Republican Party is generally looking the other way at Trump's firing of the BLS commissioner, and the GOP seems terrified of crossing or angering Trump on anything. In other words, with Republican lawmakers, nothing has really changed. Still, there are a few GOP lawmakers who have told journalists away from the microphones and off the record that they are glad to see Elizabeth Warren and other Democrats slamming Donald Trump. Many Republicans privately acknowledge that Trump continues to be a wrecking ball to the foundations of the U.S. economy. And now, there is another gaping crack. The U.S. government data that until now has been the most reliable economic data in the world has been damaged by Donald Trump. And even Trump seems aware that he is sacrificing statistical credibility in order to promote his propaganda. After all, when called out by Senator Elizabeth Warren, Trump exploded. And it underscores that Democrats have found their anti-Trump messaging. Trump only cares about boosting himself and is willing to sacrifice everybody else and everything else to promote his own delusions. I'm David Schuster. Thanks for joining us.